Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu einem weiteren Video von uns. Wir haben es geschafft, diese neue Folge 24 online zu bringen. And now we're back to English. Could you please greet our listeners as well, the way you always do?
Yes, hello and welcome to the world of money today on Patroma therapy. Thanks for listening. And when I think of money, I think of wanting to spend it because you can't take it with you when you go. So I'm actually saving money during these coronavirus times because there's no place to spend money. How about you? Are you spending money or saving it?
Well, that depends. But my regular approach to this question is that life is for living, and that's my amateur opinion. And it may sound wrong, but it may sound right too. Also, let's not forget about religious values, guiding us as to whether we should spend money on ourselves or give money to others, or maybe there is a combination of these two. So, I am at a crossroad here.
Well, that's why you're in Patroma therapy because
Definitely.
we're working these things out. So it's actually interesting. I talked with a friend of mine in Houston, Texas once, and I sometimes like to do small good things like I'll go through my closet and put a couple bags of clothing together and donate those someplace, or go through my kitchen and put some bags of food together and go drop them off at a homeless shelter. Or I don't know, once I had a car that I was going to trade in, and then I heard that somebody's husband at my church had lost his job and the company took the car back. So I did something really random, like I gave my car gave my car to that family because I was getting a new car. And then someone was telling me, she was saying that the only thing that's going to be in heaven is all the things you gave away. So I'm going to have cans of food, I'm going to have some old clothes, and I'm going to have my old Delta 88 Oldsmobile.
Well, I envy you because I seriously doubt that I will discover an answer to this question within my lifetime.
Well, we have so many things around us, like we're surrounded by a lot of things, but I think especially lately, here we are in August, Sunday, 2020, there's a little bit of hoarding going on, people sort of stocking up and wondering if they have enough. And I don't know, if we think about money, and just look at the cover shot on this episode, you will see a British coin, and it has a lady's face, and it is a portrait of Elizabeth II. And I think some people have been watching the Netflix series The Crown, which is also about the accession to the throne of Elizabeth II. But a lot of different coins will have buildings on them, or they'll have the portrait of a king or a queen or a czar or something. Um, so what kind of money do they have in Russia? Do you guys have rubles, or you guys have?
Well, you said it, rubles, and I love them, especially if I get more of them than I give away. By the way, how does that sound to the American ear? Ruble.
Rubles, that sounds like, pieces of coal that little pieces of coal that you're carrying around in your pocket. I don't know. Like right now, what kind of money do you have on you? I have some coins in my purse. I have some coins, like a few pennies, quarters, a couple dimes. I have a $5 bill, a $10 bill, and I have a gift certificate to Barnes and Noble. That's kind of money. What kind of money do you have on you? I mean, you don't have to reveal your bank account number.
I definitely don't have any coins in my wallet. I have a few banknotes, around 30 or 40 bucks, just in case, for random reason I need to use cash, and a few credit cards. Really, there is a few places where plastic doesn't work these days.
So what if you lose your wallet? Well, if suppose I find your wallet, what can I do if I find your wallet?
I don't think it's possible. First of all, I never lose my wallet, and it's not like I'm coming over to Texas to start doing it.
No, no. If I find your wallet, let's suppose I'm going on a holiday in Moscow and I'm walking along the street but wearing my mask, and I see this brown wallet on the sidewalk, and I'm thinking like, wow, quelle chance, I've found a wallet. Now, some people might be tempted to return the wallet, or they might decide to spend it. So I open it up and I see, boom, there's credit cards. You know, I am not going to call the credit cards and tell them to stop payment. I'm going to go spend it. I'm going to go buy some stuff with your credit card.
Well, that is not recommended. What is advisable, though, is to think, what would Jesus do?
Jesus, no. I have your wallet. You're right. You know, I mean, what Jesus would do is, you know, he would get some people on the street and take them out for dinner. He was always eating with people, like, you know, and yeah, he was always like eating and like meeting with people, meet and greet. I think he would use your credit cards and have a meal.
What?
No, I'm just joking. You know, like if we all did what Jesus or the Buddha or you know, some of the other holy people, if we all did what they did, we probably wouldn't need to be in Patroma therapy. So,
Or what would Karl Marx do? Marx thought that money is the procurer between man's need and the object, between his life and his means of life. Or what Shakespeare would do. Shakespeare, I know what he'd done. Shakespeare thought that he stressed the property of money, which is, he thought that money is the common whore.
Say that again more slowly. Say that again a little bit more slowly. What does Shakespeare say?
Shakespeare thought of money as of the common whore, the common procurer of people and nations, in his Shakespearean language, you know, "O thou touch of hearts," and all.
Okay, yeah, money is a whore. Okay, that's good. Well, I'm looking at, I'm looking at, you know, this therapy that we're offering is free. Right now, it's free. We're in season 1. All of our subscribers are getting free therapy. They can also write below some suggestions and ideas for us. I'm also looking at a book that I have that's written by Fred Reinfeldt. It is called The Treasury of the World's Coins, and there are 750 illustrations. It is published by Dover Publications out of Broadway in New York, and it has all these really great pictures of coins and a little bit of history about coins. And this guy, Fred Reinfeldt, also has written some books about playing chess and moves in chess and the history of coins. So, you know, he seems to be a pretty clever fellow. But as I think about coins that I've seen from around the world, I have seen coins in Italy, Belgium, France, Turkey, Mexico. What other coins have you actually held or seen?
When I was a kid at school, I had this cool looking French coin. I guess it was from 1800s and somehow related to Napoleonic times. I've not seen that type since then. And
where is that coin now? Where is that coin?
I'm sure I have traded it for some kind of a wooden toy gun or a toy sword. I don't remember.
Well, you know, when I was growing up, I think I've mentioned it before, my father was in the military. He was in security service and in military intelligence. And we were stationed for a while in Turkey. And I had a pretty interesting relationship with my father when I was young. And he took us all out on this midnight swim to this abandoned it was a church. It was called the Black Church. It was just like a burned church. And it was near Yalova across, it was like on the Sea of Marmara, but it was an old, like Christian church that was in Turkey. And he found a couple coins, and actually they're probably pretty famous, and he gave them to me. So I have thought about selling them. I've thought of taking them to Sotheby's to get them appraised, but I just like having them, like really old things. I'm very much a collector.
What would you do?
So I do it.
What?
Go ahead.
What would you do if you had a lot of money, like all the coins in the world, like all the money you ever needed? What would you do with it?
Oh, I would fly to Moscow, and then I would pick you up and ask you to escort me to the Hermitage in St. Petersburg. That's on my list of things to do. I would also build some houses in Dallas and Houston and put soup kitchens in there and like give clothes and stuff away to poor people. I'd like set up some kind of like do good stuff.
Well,
What
that
else
would
do I
have
want to
made
do?
a great Good Samaritan store. I remember that one rich man, and he probably had all the money in the world, said that I spent 50% of my money on alcohol, women, and gambling. The other half I just wasted.
That's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Well, these are pleasures of life, and we are embodied. We're not just the spirit, but we enjoy good times. And I actually have done a little bit of gambling. It's not legal in Texas. Well, there's horse racing that's legal, but if you go a little bit north into Oklahoma, there's some casinos up there. And once I was up there with a friend, and uh, he was playing blackjack, and he won $1,500 in 2 hours just playing blackjack. And then I just put it in my jacket, and like he would win, I'd go cash in the chips and put it in my jacket, and it was a great feeling to have a jacket full of money.
I'm sure it was a great feeling. Speaking of which, I remember how we discussed Schopenhauer in one of our previous episodes, because he was a great thinker. And Schopenhauer said, and I quote here, "Women in their hearts think that men are intended to earn money, so that they may spend it, if possible during their husband's lifetime, but at any rate after his death."
Well, I mean, after you kind of gave birth to children and like kept a house and have to deal with a man, you do feel like you're entitled to something. I don't know. I don't know.
Why do you think people start using money in the first place?
Well, actually, first of all, if you think about caveman or cave person times, they didn't need money. They got what they want through brute force. So when a guy wanted a girl, he didn't have to go on a date or do valet parking. He just took his club out there, found a woman, dragged her back to the cave. Or he wanted to eat something, he didn't go look at a menu. He just went and like whooped up on an animal, came back and roasted him, and then fell asleep in the cave with his woman. So life was like pretty simple. But then as we became agrarian, we started accumulating some goods. Like we had potatoes, we had corn and whatnot. And then as people started traveling, they started to barter. So let's suppose you were a barber and you would cut hair. And then maybe I had some vegetables and potatoes. So we would meet at the town square in medieval times. There were these different guilds, different tradesmen that had these skills, and they would barter things. And then after a while, small, I think they're called fiefdoms, little kingdoms arose, and the serfs or the workers became loyal to a landlord. And then the landlord would pay his workers in some food, but also like coins that had his head printed on it. So, money is about like status and ego and all that stuff. So like a lot of old coins have the head of a king or a lord. So I think in medieval times that's how money came into Europe, but other countries had coins too.
I remember I read this book, and the author said that the money most likely originated with warlords using coins to pay soldiers, since that was easier than paying in chickens or in pigs or whatever. Also, when I speak of money, I always think of investing, and one of the brilliant piece of describing the investment, I think, is contained in Mark Twain's Huckleberry Finn's Adventures book, where he speaks with Jim, and Jim knowed all kinds of signs, and one of them was, if you've got hairy arms and a hairy breast, it's a sign that you're going to be rich. And that Huckleberry asked him, "Have you got hairy arms and hairy breast, Jim?" Jim said, "What they used to ask that question, don't you see I has? Well, are you rich?" "No, but I've been rich once and going to be rich again." That's what Jim told him. Once I had $14, but I talked to speculation and got busted out. What did you speculate in, Jim? Well, I tackled stock. What kind of stock? Well, livestock, of course, cattle, you know. I put $10 in a cow, but I ain't going to risk no money in stock. The cow up and died on my hands. And I always laugh when I read this scene. I read it and reread it because basically it's a story of my life in a nutshell.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So okay, that's good. Yeah, well, Mark Twain was a humorist and he had some insights into people and life and how they act towards things. I'm thinking of a quote by Seneca, and he says, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves for more that is poor." So when we think about money, you know, some people think if I have a lot more money, a better car, a better suit, a better watch, then people will respect me. I'll be a bigger man. But really, the person who's always chasing after those external things is really kind of pathetic. And it's interesting how different people, you know, approach money. A lot of women won't hang around guys unless they have money and cars, and there's no end to the shallowness of Dallas. Dallas is a very wealthy city, but we have a lot of pockets of poverty and we have homelessness. So, you know, they say money is the root of all evil, and you know, I'm kind of gonna agree with that. Can you think of anything to wrap this up with?
No, I think we should stop here. It's officially nighttime in my place, and there is too much to think about from what we've just discussed, and I don't know.
Well, I've got an idea. This is a famous quote by Unknown, a very famous person called Unknown. He says, "The real measure of your wealth is how much you'd be worth if you lost all your money." And with that puzzling thought, that Zen cone, we are going to end this episode and let you meditate upon this further. Thanks for listening.